What is up, everybody? Garage RC here. Today I'm making a video about flying in small spaces. And why would you want to fly in small spaces? Well, because it's fun, whether you're doing line of sight or you're strapping a camera to it to get content for other social media platforms. It's always good to challenge yourself. So let's go over flying in a tight area. All right, let's take off in the backyard for the first time. I have safe on, which if your plane has safe, I advise you to try it on that mode first. If you look at my right hand, I'm using aileron and elevator, very little rudder to steer. I'm not telling you not to use rudder, but if you're flying with safe, using aileron and elevator combined, it's going to give you a nice pitch angle. You can see everything is very smooth. I'm not too high on the power, and I'm kind of just floating along. Now, if you want to start adding in a little rudder to see how it acts, that's probably not a bad idea. Same thing when I'm pitching to the right. I have a little rudder, a lot of aileron, and a lot of elevator. Now, when safe's on, it's not going to let me tip the plane over, so I don't have to worry about overthrowing the surface and going inverted. Now, it's also not a bad idea to just send the plane up high right away. What that's going to do is give you plenty of room to figure out how the plane is going to react. So what I like to do too when I'm flying a plane for the first time is get it high in the air, let go of the sticks, and make sure that the trim is all set. As you see, I'm doing that here. The plane's flying pretty level. Sorry for the blurriness. Just got a new iPhone 14 Pro, and I'm trying to figure out the best settings for the camera. But while I'm in the air, I do it a couple times, kind of feel it out, see how the plane reacts, see the steering, and making sure everything is going to steer efficiently so that I can fly in a small space. Now, next, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to shut off safe. So what I like to do when shutting off safe is try to have my sticks as level as possible. As you see on my left hand, I just shut it off, and now my bank is way bigger. I'm going to bring it into a little bit of a hover. When you're flying 3D, you always want to have an escape plan. My plan in my backyard, because I'm surrounded by trees for the majority of the time, is to climb vertically out. That's going to get me higher in the air. Then when I'm safe, I can either bring it back in or turn safe on. As you see here, I'm bringing it into a hover. Now, if I fail, I'm going to climb out. And always have your hand on that safe switch. As you see coming up, I lose orientation, I hit safe. See, I'm behind the trees, and I climb out until I could see my plane again. Having that safe switch is a great, great thing. I'm going to leave safe on for a little bit. I want you guys to watch my left hand. I'm going to hit a switch that you haven't seen me hit yet, and that's my flaperons. What flaperons are is the ailerons come down to a certain percentage that you program them to act as flaps. Now, they still work as ailerons while they're working as flaps, hence why they're called flaperons. It slows the plane down and changes the flight characteristics a little bit. So if your plane has it, I advise you use it. But it's always easier to fly in small spaces if your plane is flying slow. If you've seen, I only go full throttle when I climb out completely. Now, I haven't really talked about this plane much. This plane is by E-Flight. It's a UMX Timber X. It runs on a 3-cell, 300 milliamp battery, which gives you pretty much unlimited vertical. And when I say unlimited, I'm going off the threshold of 400 feet. You're not allowed to fly above 400 feet in Class G airspace, even though that's the only airspace you're actually allowed to fly in, unless you have a voucher saying otherwise. But yeah, it's a great little plane. Here we go. One last time, I'm going to bring it around, and I'm going to bring it into a hover. Now, I want you to watch this hover because I fail, but I don't climb out. I'm too close to the trees. So instead, I twist to the left, and I come out where I feel it's comfortable to do so. Now that I showed you guys the basics of flying in a backyard, let's do my favorite thing ever and try to land on my roof. Now, all kidding aside, I did crash the first time, but doesn't mean we're not going to go get it. Try to get some successful landings.
We'll leave it allowed in there because I got to try that again. I got to get one successful roof landing.
This is when we should stop, but nope. Well, sometimes it's better to stop while you're ahead. I never do. As always, guys, if you like what you see, please subscribe and smash the bell so you know when I post something new. And I will be gluing this back together. I might need some new parts, but all is good. That's what these planes are meant for. Having fun, and I had a blast. Till next time.